Welcome to the Vegan Squad Health and Fitness Summit. I am John Thomas, aka the Bodybuilding Vegan, and I am so glad you are here. We have so much information, knowledge, experience to share with you, and I'm so excited for all that you're about to get to learn. Make sure you guys stay until the end of the videos. There is a huge special going on. If you haven't already taken part in it, it will be in the description box down below. And I'm also going to include the link to the VIP tickets that you've already purchased in case you want to send it to a friend. If you need anything else, reach out to me or any of your Vegan Squad coaches. We're here to support you on your journey to becoming the best you can be with your health and fitness. We'll see you inside.
So welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. Today's session is called Yoga for Sustainable Weight Loss, the plant-based method. We're going to explore how yoga helps you release weight, not just from your body, but from your stress and habits. You'll learn 3 ancient breathing techniques that I still use today, every day, to stay balanced. And these work no matter what's going on in your life. You can use them at different times of the day. So to briefly outline what we're going through here, number 1, why yoga works for sustainable weight loss. Number 2, how the plant-based lifestyle complements it. And 3 breathing tools you can start using today. Now, this isn't a lecture, it's an experience. I would love this to be interactive and hopefully leave you feeling a little bit lighter and calmer and inspired. To start, I'd love to share this story with you because I wasn't always calm yoga person, not calm at all, quite the opposite as a kid. I was addicted to McDonald's, literally addicted. If I didn't get my McDonald's fix, I'd throw a tantrum. On top of that, I was quite an angry kid. I had 0 emotional control whatsoever. This then evolved into my teenage years. I used to play golf and I'd have embarrassing outbursts on the golf course when things didn't go my way. I'd smash the club into the ground, throw it. Just the idea that one day I'll be teaching yoga, it still feels miraculous. But that, I guess, is the power of yoga. It doesn't just change your body, it changes who you are on the inside. So a couple of credentials. I've been in the fitness industry 10 years. I've been teaching yoga for about 8 or 9 years now. I've been plant-based the whole time, and I'll share my story as well of how I got into this plant-based lifestyle. I wanted to ask who here has ever struggled with yo-yo dieting or even keeping weight off long-term. If you had this struggle like me, just let us know in the chat. Just type yes. I struggled with yo-yo dieting. Most people that I've spoken to have at some point. There is a definite link. Yeah, Benita said I used to when I was younger. Me too. There is a link between chronic stress and weight gain. If you didn't already know, when we're stressed, cortisol, the stress hormone, stays elevated. Cortisol then increases your appetite, especially for sugar and fat. It slows your metabolism and stores fat around the belly. So this is the contrast. Why yoga? The contrast with yoga and other workouts is most exercise raise cortisol temporarily. Running, for example, any type of endurance, cardio, sport, HIIT classes, high intensity interval training, appears to be great for weight loss. And I'm not saying it isn't, it is, but that temporary raise of cortisol, it throws us out of balance, and then it can increase our appetite. But yoga both moves your body and calms your nervous system at the same time. It's the only form of exercise that I've found that reduces cortisol while increasing serotonin, which is the feel-good hormone, and dopamine. And the result of that is sustainable energy, better digestion, stable appetite, and even natural weight balance. But it wasn't until I started including yoga into my routine that I was able to get my weight down to a manageable level and maintain it for the first time in my life, even after 10 years of training and doing fitness. And there's 3 techniques breathing wise that I'd love to share with you today. I was thinking, like, what's the most powerful thing I could share in this presentation? Breathing has the most potential to change your state instantly. Anything else, like, everything has an effect, our movement, things we put into our body, but if we're looking for instant change, our breath. So if you get stressed, if you get angry, you'll notice your breath becomes short and shallow. If you have the presence of awareness, you can slow your breathing to calm yourself down. There are several breathing techniques that have been around for thousands of years. The first one I'd love to share with you, and we can practice this together, is called breath of fire, or Kapalabhati breathing. It energizes the body, it boosts metabolism, and helps detox your lungs and digestive organs. It can be a little bit messy, Kapalabhati breathing. It's a short, sharp exhale from your nose. It looks something like this. Like you're contracting your abdominals as you breathe. We go 20 rounds of exhales and let the inhale happen all on their own. Who's up for practicing a couple of rounds of this Kapalabhati breathing? We'll do it anyway. Yes, Alex, let's go. Okay, Kapalabhati breathing. If we're ready, we'll try one round. This is the first tool. This works to switch on your nervous system, your sympathetic nervous system. You can switch this out for coffee. It has the same effects of waking you up like a cup of coffee. We'll do rounds of 20. Just sit tall for a moment. Take a couple of normal inhales and exhales. And when we get into it, rapid fire from your nose, short, sharp exhales, contracting your abdominals. Are we ready? I'll count and you breathe. Let's take one big inhale. Exhale from your nose. Exhale, 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 exhale. Exhale, 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 exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe normal. Let's do one more round to wake up our nervous system. Short, sharp exhales from the nose. If snot flies out, that's totally normal. It can happen with breath of fire. Don't be afraid. Take an inhale. And let's go. Exhale, 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 exhale. Short, sharp exhales from your nose. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax and breathe normally. The idea here is 2 to 3 rounds, 30 seconds each. You may notice a tingling, warm energy. That's your internal fire waking up. The same fire that supports your metabolism and mental clarity. This practice is really good for mornings. It helps you focus. It can get you ready. It can supercharge you for your day, a little bit like a cup of coffee, without taking a toll on your nervous system. So we've talked a little bit about yoga and it's reducing cortisol to help you sustain your weight. Where does the plant-based method come into this? Nourishing you from the inside out. Sorry, my phone just went off there. So for me, yoga, it started to transform my mind. It also began to transform my choices, especially around food. My story into veganism is kind of sad. I woke up one day to a knock at the door, and it was a police officer lady, and she said, is this my dad's house? Is this Joseph's house?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "Well, I'm sorry, but he's crashed his car. He's had a cardiac arrest, and he's in the hospital." So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my dad was fighting for his life in hospital. We watched him slowly deteriorate and then pass away right around this time of year. 9 years ago tomorrow, in fact, my dad and his dad, coincidentally, before I was even born, died the exact same way. Went out on a Sunday morning to get the papers from the shops. Oh, thank you, Benita. He had a cardiac arrest and died. So this scared the hell out of me. At 28 years old, not only was I mourning the death of my father, I was actually, for the first time in my life, conscious of my own decisions, health-wise. At that time, they were not good. I was binge drinking on the weekends, taking recreational drugs. My diet, thinking back, was terrible. I'd never had any nutritional knowledge whatsoever. My parents did their best bringing me up, but like I said, I was addicted to McDonald's from an early age. And I've since learned that those first 1 to 7 years of life are very crucial for developing the person that you become later in life. That person at the end of my late 20s was not healthy, and I was scared. So that really shocked me into looking a little bit deeper into nutrition to start with, and how could I avoid the same fate as my dad and my granddad. Clearly this was hereditary in some way, heart disease in our family. So I watched a documentary called Forks Over Knives, saw that, oh wow, there's this way of living that can not just stop heart disease in its tracks, actually reverse it. So before, even if you get to the point where you have heart disease, this plant-based diet, wow, okay, I would be a fool not to give this a go. It was health originally that led me into the plant-based lifestyle. Later, I developed a lot more compassion for the animals, connection to the environment. And I always say every year of veganism, living plant-based, it seems to deepen that connection. It's been the most incredible journey that I never, ever would have imagined for myself. Starting with tragedy. And even years later, not so long ago, my mum passed away of cancer. So losing both parents, the number one and number two top killers, led me to think more about nutrition choices. And there's a definite link, guys. Everything that I've researched and read, everything that is taught inside the Vegan Squad community backs it up, that plant-based nutrition is there to support your health goals. It's there to make you thrive. Now I feel like those first 28 years of life I was lied to. That's genuinely just how I feel. Like I feel like I was tricked into this way, into this way of being that wasn't aligned with my health or anything. And a little bit of the yogic philosophy on plant-based eating. The ancient yogis, they practice something called ahimsa. Has anyone heard of ahimsa? It's basically the practice of non-violence. So it included not harming animals. Their diets, they were light, they were clean, they were focused on prana. Prana is the life force energy. And we develop more and more prana the more we practice yoga breathing, and specifically our yoga practice that we do as a community every week. So it unlocks a different kind of energy, is what I've found. The health benefits. Plant-based diets reduce inflammation and improve digestion, making weight loss easier. A startling fact that blew my mind was that meat takes 48 to 72 hours to digest. If you took out our intestines, if you laid out our intestines, you find that the human intestine or tract is 18-foot long. So that piece of meat has to go through this 18-foot long digestional tract, which is very similar to herbivorous creatures, not so similar to omnivores and true carnivores, where they can just rip and swallow and digest really quickly the meat. And I always wondered why I was finding it so hard to get through the day. Back when I was eating animals, I was tired, ready to go to bed at 1 p.m, midday. And then I eliminated all that stuff. My digestion was much better and my energy levels were a lot higher too. So it's no surprise that plant-based diets make weight loss easier. Studies show that vegans have a lower BMI and better long-term metabolic health. Many of these ancient yogis that I'm talking about lived past 100. And honestly, guys, some of their diets, they were even vegetarian diets, they were not good. Some of the yogi diets, a lot of it was still animal based. There was a lot of ghee and dairy in there, high carb diets. Yet somehow with the practice of yoga, being vegetarian, most of them made it past 100 anyways. So I wonder how long we could live, right? When we get our diet right and our holistic lifestyle right. There's no reason that we can't get to 120. That's the goal anyway. So then this brings me to the second tool that I'd love to introduce to you, which is the 4-4 balance breathing. This I use during yoga practice, but also off the mat to keep my stress levels down. It's very safe. All these breathing techniques are very safe. You may have seen other stuff like Wim Hof method, holotropic breathing. Wim Hof did not invent Wim Hof method. It's holotropic breathing. It's an ancient yoga technique. And I tried this out for a few weeks. It spiked my anxiety levels later in the day. Then one of my yoga teachers told me that Wim Hof method, people die doing Wim Hof method, which means it's not 100% safe. These yoga breathing techniques that we're sharing today are very safe and accessible to do anytime. Apart from that first one we just practiced, the breath of fire, I'd only do that in the mornings because it spikes the sympathetic nervous system, which is our fight or flight mode. So not so helpful when you want to go to sleep doing that one. This one, balanced breathing. Yeah, I know, right, Benita? Yeah, Wim Hof method. It makes you feel great, almost euphoric at times. It's a bit like getting high. I've found you're so high, and then later on in the day, I was coming down from that high, and I realized this up and down wasn't that great for me. This one, ocean breathing. It's a 4-second inhale, 4-second exhale from your nose. It's simple, calming, it's powerful for regulating stress and cravings. These breathing techniques stimulate your nervous system in a way that helps you with your cravings. The idea is we inhale through our nose for 4 and exhale through our nose for 4, with a slight constriction in the back of our throat. It's a soft ocean sound. To get this, I'd love for us to practice with our mouth open first. I think this is the best way to do it. You open your mouth, you can do it with you now, and you breathe in, you go, and then breathe out, make it. One more time, mouth open. Now close your mouth. With that same ha sound from the back of your throat, switch to nose breathing. Count yourself 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. We'll do this for maybe 5 rounds together. I'll count and you breathe. Let's begin. Yes, Alex, let's go. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. Breathe normally. The benefits of that simple practice is it balances your nervous system. It reduces cortisol. As we've already discussed, cortisol, high stress, could be, yeah, great, Alex. Glad you're feeling relaxed. Cortisol could be a reason that a lot of people struggle to keep their weight down and maintain that weight. It certainly was for me. So this regulates your appetite and calms emotional cravings. I know there's other masterclasses going a bit deeper into cravings today, which I'm very excited about. For me, I wanted to share with you the best stuff that I could while we're on here. So this balanced breath, if you take nothing away from today, use balanced breath when you're feeling a little bit stressed, when you have a presentation coming up like this. What was I doing before this? A few rounds of balanced breathing. So the breath becomes your anchor. Whenever you feel a craving or urge, breathe first. You'll find it often passes. Does anyone have any questions on what we've talked about so far? We'll get right into, let me have a look at the comments. Let's see. Okay. Okay, awesome. We'll talk about the integration. Yoga, breath, and community is what I've found the 3 things personally that have created lasting change in my life. I joined the vegan squad community back in September. I thought, wow, this is great. A bunch of vegans in a community, health, holistic approach. I connected with John and basically says, would you let me teach yoga for the community? And he was like, yeah, sure. I love John because everything's like, yeah, let's do it. So I started teaching yoga in the vegan community, and the people that attend the classes, I've seen incredible transformations already. We go through different themes each month. I started with core strength yoga, but I thought, oh, maybe this is a little bit hard. But everyone loved it and missed it when we went to the next one, which is gratitude-based yoga. And now we're working with science of stretching, which is kind of like my own personal yoga style that I've developed using 3 basic principles. We practice this each and every week on Sunday. In a few short hours, in fact, we'll be practicing in the Vegan Squad community yoga, incorporating all these breathing techniques and the movement to go with it. So what I've found for myself and people who practice yoga regularly report less stress eating. It's rare that you see an overweight yoga person, right? If you think about it, when you think in your mind of like a typical yogi or someone that practices regularly, I rarely see overweight people practicing yoga consistently. Maybe at first, but once you get the consistency, less stress eating, better sleep, better connection to yourself. So for many, yoga, including myself, is the missing piece, the bridge between the knowledge of actually what it does and consistency. So when we bring this back to sustainable weight loss, like why yoga for sustainable weight loss? It isn't just about calories in versus calories out. I want you to think of stress in versus stress out. When we manage stress, balance hormones, and move with awareness, weight naturally stabilizes. I started my vegan fitness journey counting every morsel of food, every calorie. And while that works, it does work. And depending on what your goals are, sometimes you need to do that. If you're a bit more relaxed, then it can come naturally as long as your stress levels are low. So yoga is the reset button for your nervous system. It's nervous system training at its core. The combination of breath, mindful movement, and plant-based eating creates harmony across the body's systems: digestion, hormones, mood, metabolism, everything. And this leads me to our final teaching. So we've already practiced breath and fire, we've practiced ocean breath. I have one more really powerful tool for you: relaxation breath. We are using this breath in our practice today for deep stretching inside the vegan community. But you can use this in general, you can use this to help you sleep better. It's a 4 count in and 8 count out. Similar to our 4-4 breath, where we made a little whisper sound in the back of our throat. This time, you do that on your inhale through your nose, and you open your mouth, make a slow, long ah sound, but double the length on your exhale. 4 in, 8 out. This is like your emergency switch for stress, instantly calming your mind and body, relaxation breath. I'd love for us to practice this together. Remember that whisper sound in the back of your throat. Or maybe we'll practice the mouth open for the people that have recently joined. Open your mouth, breathe in, make a and breathe out. That same ha sound, close your mouth, breathe in through your nose, open your mouth, slow, long ha, like a sigh of relief. Let's do 3 rounds of this together. I'll count and you breathe. Are we ready? Who's up for practicing relaxation breath? Yes, Susanna. Yes, Alex. Let's go. Sit tall, relax your shoulders. Inhale through your nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Open your mouth. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reset a moment. If your lung capacity struggles with this, switch to a 3 inhale and a 6 exhale. Slow long ha on your exhale. Let's go again. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax and breathe normally. I find 10 rounds of relaxation breath, if you struggle to sleep, can be extremely effective. There's also a cool test you can do by putting the finger under your nose like this and breathing powerfully. Do this, and then which side does more air come out of? Left or right? Just pop left or right in the chat when you do this. Left. Yeah, that's good, Alex. So the breathing that we're practicing is working because left nostril directly correlates with the right hemisphere of your brain, which means you're in rest and digest mode. You're in your parasympathetic nervous system state. How cool is this? That we can see which side of our nervous system we're in anytime you pop your finger under your nose and breathe. Your nervous system will switch between the two each day. If you do struggle sleeping and you do this to test and you're in your right nostril, probably means a few rounds of relaxation breath would help manipulate your nervous system into the other side. So I guarantee if you're tossing and turning at night, you're probably in your right nostril, left hemisphere of your brain, and that is directly correlated with fight or flight mode, sympathetic nervous system. Those two branches, we switch between them all day, every day. Neither is good or bad. It just is. There's a few breathing techniques like we've just practiced. Breath of fire can get you in the go, go, go sympathetic nervous system, best for mornings. Balanced breath can regulate you, calm you, get you to that center point. Any time of day you can use that. A relaxation breath, again, you can use it any time of day. It's safe. It'll most likely relax you, especially before bed. So there you have it. Breath of fire in the mornings, balanced breath throughout the day, relaxation breath in the evening. The benefits of the relaxation breath, what we've just practiced, is activates the parasympathetic nervous system. Like we said, our rest and digest mode. After you've eaten, for example, more air should come out of your left nostril because you're digesting. If you've just been for a run or a workout, more air should come out of your right nostril because you've elevated your cortisol. Right, so this is something cool. Okay, Ashley's just woke up. You can breathe more out of your right nostril. That's totally normal, right? You've just woken up. You've come out of sleep. So your nervous system's like, okay, let's go. I'm ready to seize the day. Susanna Moore is coming out of the right nostril. Okay, good to know. So it's good to know this, guys, because there could be something going on with your nervous system if like the timing's off. So for example, if you've eaten and it's been an hour, but you're still in that right nostril, you're in the wrong nervous system. And then if you incorporate some breathing and you're still there, then like maybe something's off. Probably nothing. It's just useful to know these little hacks. I've found breathing is the fastest hack towards instant results. If we think we want something to happen instantly, our breath is the most changeable thing that we have access to. So we've explored then the why, the what, the how of yoga for sustainable weight loss. 3 simple yet powerful tools: breath of fire, ocean breath, and relaxation breath. So this all comes back to stress management. The main takeaway here from this presentation is how stress is linked. Oh yeah, Susanna, yeah, if you're a bit sick, that may have something to do with it. Yeah, if you're struggling to breathe as well through your nose, so you're forced to use mouth breathing. I'm just getting over a little bit of congestion as well. Each one of these tools alone can help you manage your stress, can support your goals, but when combined with the mindful movement and the plant-based lifestyle, it creates the lasting transformation. Like I said earlier, I host a weekly online yoga class inside the Vegan Squad community. I'm pretty sure, Alex, can you still do the 7-day trial for that? Is that still a thing? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So like anyone can do this for 7 days. I think even people in the community like can invite friends too for the 7-day trial. Invite all your friends. Like, what have they got to lose? What have they got to lose by adding in more plants into their diet, being around supportive people that are all thriving on a plant-based diet? And maybe there's like a commission there for you as well if they sign up long term, right? It's a win-win for the 7 days, even just for the yoga. So I think it's worth it just for the yoga. There's so much more in there. So you'll experience that release of stress, the rebalance of your body. You can really feel your best from the inside out when you incorporate all the lessons that you're about to learn in today's masterclasses, but inside the community takes it to a whole other level. And in January, our yoga theme will be, drum roll, can anyone guess? Yoga for weight loss. So we'll be switching to yoga for weight loss. Quinton says he's in the right nostril, called out of bed 10 minutes ago. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right where you need to be then. Just waking up. So yeah, so yoga for weight loss, I'll guide you step by step through the process. We'll do it the right way. So take all these breathing exercises you've learned today and then combine them with movement, supported through a thriving community. And I think that is the bulk of what I have for you here. To recap, we've covered briefly how high stress can massively contribute to weight gain and cravings. By upping cortisol levels, it makes us crave more fat and sugars. By lowering cortisol levels, our cravings are less. Yoga is the one form of movement above anything else that lowers our stress, which is why it's so key for weight loss. We've covered 3 simple, powerful breathing techniques you can use anytime of the day to manage this. And I've shared a little bit about my personal story and how the Vegan Squad community is thriving and helping you through not just yoga, but all these other things. So I just want to thank everyone who's shown up here, like from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for listening. I'd love to hear any questions that you have. Feel free to type questions or jump off mute if you would like to. No worries if not.
How many times a week do you recommend doing yoga to feel like yeah?
Yes, that's a great question, Alex. Truthfully, I practice every day. So the daily practice, even if it's just like 10, 15 minutes, compounds more than, say, doing 1 or 2 long practices. So little commitments, and then you keep your cortisol down with the consistent daily practice. So like, if you're new to yoga, 10, 15 minutes a day, that's how I started. I think that's perfect. If you haven't even got 10, 15 minutes a day, but maybe you can practice on the weekends, then practice whenever you can. Keep practicing.
Do you have any like YouTube channels or any resources to recommend for like the 10 to 15 minutes for people to get started if they don't join your awesome classes, which hopefully you should?
Of course, I'd recommend to join the Vegan Squad community, but for the 10, 15 minutes, there's loads. Like YouTube has loads of free resources. I like there's a vegan girl called Boho Beautiful. Love her classes. They're really great. That's who I would recommend. Can kids practice yoga? Yes, kids absolutely can practice yoga. It helps kids improve their focus, which could also improve how well they take in information, their learning ability at school. There's a whole thing for kids yoga. It just has to be less. Kids' attention spans tend to be less. So instead of doing like a longer yoga practice with kids, you have to make it fun. You could include all the animal movements, make it a fun game where they're practicing their breathing, their movement, and 15, 20 minutes for kids can go a long way. Benita, you have a question.
I do. So I'm a bit time poor, let's say. So I do want to do meditation. So I've kind of fallen off the meditation wagon a little bit over Christmas, but I try to do 10 minutes a day normally. But I'm trying to think, is there a way to incorporate both meditation and yoga in one 10-minute sitting, with it both also being effective? Is it sort of more mindful meditation whilst doing yoga? I'm just trying to think about how to combine my time to make things, I still want to dedicate time to it and make it effective at the same time.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. So you're looking to incorporate meditation, maybe yoga, all into one time hack practice.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's possible.
Well, you know, yoga originally, it isn't what it is today. If we go back to the foundations of yoga, it was never a movement practice. The word yoga means wholeness, to become one. The only reason people started developing this movement was specifically designed for meditation. The whole practice of yoga is to lead you to emptiness for your meditation practice. Right? So if you've got 10 minutes, I would say a few basic poses. You could start perhaps with the breath of fire that we practiced earlier, the rapid breathing. You mentioned as well, I think we were messaging, you said about your hamstrings, your hips being tight. 2 or 3 hamstrings or hip stretches that you know is going to relieve that tension. So let's say you have 5 minutes. You start with breathing. You do maybe 1 minute poses for 2 hips, 2 hamstrings, and then you go straight into your meditation after that for 5 minutes, and just see how that feels. See how that meditation feels after the yoga.
Yeah, I think I need to sort of create, I guess, a little bit of a routine that I can then just do really easily every day. Okay, thank you. That's helpful.
Thanks for your question. Any more questions, guys?
Just a statement here. Sounds like, David, there might be some demand to create like a little 10-minute video or 15-minute video for you, and we could house that in the community as well. I think that that would be a useful resource for some of these people.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, maybe we could do a little series of those short videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think I'll pass over to you, John. If no one else has any questions, just thank you so much. Thank you for sharing this energy. Let's just take one last deep breath together. Fully in and out.
I needed that. Thank you, David. Thank you for all you do for our community as well. You're really just a really positive energy source and always giving a lot to everyone else here. So thank you so much. So I think most everyone here, I'm gonna pick on Naomi and say that you should check out this link. I believe everybody else has already had a chance to do this, but I don't think I've seen you do it yet. If you want to click on that link, we're going to enter you for a free month of one-on-one coaching with one of the Vegan Squad coaches. So check that out.